Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Welcome back to a new episode of In the Mind of Dame. Oh my gosh, bruh. I'm sorry, bruh. My fault, bruh. I did not mean to be gone so long. I did not mean for that. Uh, I literally remember just being like, okay, fairly decently consistent with podcasting. And then next thing you knew, I just looked up and my life looks completely different than it did last episode. Like honestly, I don't even know when the last episode was, bro. Last episode was I'm literally looking it up now. March 12th. That doesn't even feel that's shorter than I expected. I thought it was gonna say like fucking like February or some shit. But March, that's not bad. That's not bad. Far too long, but it could have been worse. But what's up, y'all? What's good? What's good? I'm back. I'm back. I owe y'all this episode. I don't care how long this is. We got a lot to catch up on. There's a lot of things that's been in the mind that I feel like I need to talk about. And I literally didn't even intend to podcast today. Honestly, I just happened to wake up. I took like a morning walk, got my morning J in, ate some breakfast, cleaned my room, and I was like, man, what am I doing? Like, what am I doing? What has these past couple months have shown me? What do I need to kind of like jump over? And it's like, you know what, bro? Like, turn the mic on. You know what I'm saying? Turn the mic on. I got the itch back. You know what I mean? Where there's a whole story attached to like everything that's been going on the last couple months, but especially getting on the mic again is I went to the Don Toliver concert a couple days ago. Like it's probably been about almost 2 weeks now since it happened, and amazing show. Probably after the two Kendrick Lamar shows I went to, Don Toliver got the best concert I've been to. After the two Kendrick shows I've been to, that Don Toliver concert was fucking lit. You know what I mean? And I've been trying to practice living in the moment, being more present. So I barely recorded anything. This was like one of the first concerts I haven't really sat down and like damn near. I'm usually in the pits when I go to concerts. Like most of the concerts I've been to, I've been in the pits and shit. But I'll record that whole thing just because I don't want to ever miss nothing. And it's crazy because there was so much shit to record for me there. Like I'm a huge Don Toliver fan, so like there's so many records he did that for sure I wanted to capture it. But then I was like, you know what, nah, I really want to enjoy being here at this concert. And I ran into one of my old coworkers, bro. Nigga got the same name as me, bro. His name is Damien, bro. Shout out to my bro. And I haven't seen him in a long time, bro. Like this was when I was living in College Park and working at the Walmart in Laurel. And I haven't seen him since I damn near quit. I think he left before me. I don't remember the timeline like that, but man, we hadn't caught up in a minute. And me and him, he was into music, so we was chopping about music and shit, X, Y, and Z. And we just chopping it up. He was like, "Yo, man, I listened to your podcast, bro." And I ain't gonna hold you. Like, I never really talk about it too much, bro. But whenever somebody comments on a podcast and really be like, "Yo, this shit is like good, like this shit was dope," I don't really feel like people understand how emotional that makes me. Like, I damn near cried when he said that shit because there's no greater feeling than for me, right? Like, I'm somebody who I grew up, I didn't have much like confidence in myself, X, Y, and Z. So to hear somebody comment on something that I created and he didn't have to, say that just to make me feel good. It's not like I brought it up. Like, I had no intentions of being like, "Oh yeah, man, this is what I've been doing in life. What I've been doing is I'm still podcasting, trying to get this podcast off the ground." Like, I literally had zero intention of even mentioning the shit. And he literally was like, "Yo, I listened to your podcast. Like, it's really good, bro. I fucked with it." And I was like, damn. I was like, yeah, bro, like life done caught up and shit. So I kind of took a pause. But it really did, like, y'all know me. Like, I talked about it in the very first episodes. Like, I kind of lost my faith in religion. So I don't know. Like, I'm not saying that nothing out there exists, but to me that was like a sign of something. You know what I mean? Like, I do feel like that was a sign from something. Like, hey, you kind of bullshitting. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't gonna lie, I definitely did fall out of love with it. Not just because of like I didn't like doing it anymore. Like, there's a lot of things like just life in general, timing. I ain't gonna lie, I definitely like to record when my house is empty, but my parents be home and my mom like her office is like right next to my room and shit. So I'm like, I feel awkward recording while they're home. So like it'd be kind of difficult, bro. You know what I'm saying? And having to work around that schedule, being tired from work, um, and you don't really get that validation from doing it. You know what I mean? Like I'm not looking at a bunch of money from recording. I'm not looking at 1,000 streams from of listens from people. Like I look at pretty much probably the same user base, which I am very appreciative of because it definitely could be zero. You know what I mean? It could definitely be zero. But it doesn't draw like a level of engagement where it sparks a conversation in the comment section, or it doesn't, like, if I ask for topics, it's not like I get flooded with all these topics or people are dying to hear my opinion about this. Like a lot of people that probably listen, like I couldn't even make a list of the people who I would say listen to this shit. I just don't know, bruh. So for me now, I'm kind of coming back into it with like more of a community based mindset of like, I'm not trying to really focus on the numbers and shit. Like this is just for who fucks with it, who fucks with me, and fuck with what I like to talk about and shit. And like inspire something. I don't know what my life is going to turn into, but maybe hopefully it turns into something that's dope that will inspire something. I don't know. But for me, kind of hearing that from Damien, and I've heard it from other people who've commented, like my man's Jeremiah, my man's Ethan, like just off the random, like, yo, I really listen to your shit. And that shit really is like dope. You know what I'm saying? Like this really be part of my weekly routine. You know what I'm saying? I talked to my man's Caleb, and he talks about how like when we did If Walls Could Talk, like he still listens back to the episodes and shit. And it's like I should have I always appreciate those things, but when life is cooking you and you're tired from work and sometimes you just want to relax and you kind of thinking about, oh, I do have to record, and it's like, but man, I'm recording and I don't even know who's listening. I don't even know, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know who's listening. I don't know if even what I'm gonna talk about this week is what they want to hear. Like I don't get the same kind of feedback that would be like, oh, I want to keep showing up, especially when life is getting difficult. So like I'm not trying to come on here now and be like, oh, we back, bro, we back. Like I hope I'm back. I hope I can make this be part of something that I know that, hey, like if I really want this to be part of my routine, I love doing this. I'm actually good at it, so I need to kind of keep up with it and continue to get better at it and continue to try to grow it. And also too, like I hate how algorithmic growing on any platform is. You know what I mean? I don't want to play the game, bro. I just gotta be honest. Like having to make TikToks and do all this shit. I don't want to do that shit, bro. I gotta be honest. Like that shit does not inspire me to want to do it because I don't want to do none of that shit. I'm gonna just be honest. Like I don't want to perform for an algorithm. I don't want to spend my life being attached to my phone at the hip trying to do X, Y, and Z. Like I just honestly, I don't even know how I'm gonna do it, but I'd rather try to build it through word of mouth, bro. You know what I mean? Like I just want to love this shit so much, and like almost being like a rapper who fucking um like being a rapper who has to drive around the country or drive around his city to sell mixtapes and shit. It's like I gotta promote the podcast in that way. You know what I mean? Like I gotta really draw up a plan or a course of action that allows me to do it and just kind of head into the unknown. I'm not saying I'm not gonna use social media to the benefit that it is, but I'm not trying to be in my room all day recording and editing TikToks and shit. Like I'm not trying to perform for an algorithm. Like I want people to fuck with this shit because this shit is fire to them. You know what I mean? So it's a lot that goes on in the mind. That's why we have the pod to begin with. But it's a lot. You know what I mean? So yeah, like I just kind of just went through the day and I'm just like, I got my itch back to do this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I got that confidence back, that motivation back, that drive back to be like, hey, yo, like you was at your most confident when you was doing this shit weekly and you was figuring shit out and you feel like you saw a vision and a plan for your life that looked like this. And it's like, I stopped. And I'll get into it. Like there's a whole story to it. That's pretty much what I would probably cover up most of the episode. That kind of happened. But now that I do feel a lot more stable and I do feel a lot more back in full, and I'm figuring it out, and I'm answering these questions for myself, and I'm understanding and learning myself a lot more, and figuring out the type of person that I want to be. I feel like now, like, podcasting has to be a part of it. It has to be a part of this shit, because this is really where my bread and butter, my interests, and my mind comes into play, and I get to share with actual community. So I gotta come back. You know what I'm saying? I gotta come back, and I gotta fall in love with this again. And I do feel like this one of those days where it's like, all right, this day one. So bear with me if my voice, the speaking ain't what it used to be, man. I'm working my way back. You know what I'm saying? So let's get into it. Let's get into it. What has my life been like since fucking March? Like, let's get into it. A lot of this situation revolves around employment. It revolves around employment because, let's face it, employment equals money, which equals basically your survival. Um so yeah, so just to, like, that's kind of like the groundwork. Like, hey, like, this all involves employment, my job. This is where you spend probably most of your time. Your life kind of revolves around your job because you have to plan your life around getting to work and, making money and everything like that. So I want to start off with this. I'm not a huge TikTok user, but I do feel like this is important to mention. I'm not a huge TikTok user. It's not really my app. I know I post, my music or my songs of the week or whatever, boom, boom, boom. But I don't really catch myself scrolling on TikTok like I know a lot of people do. Like, that's never really been my app. My app that really will catch me scrolling for a long time is surprisingly Instagram. I'll click through stories and swipe, swipe, swipe all day. Like, I have to put actual limitations on Instagram. But like Twitter and TikTok, like, if I never use those apps again, like, I would be fine. But a lot of my algorithms started to become a lot more, even when I was first starting to deconstruct a lot, my algorithm was becoming a lot about people's experiences with deconstruction. Then when I started getting into wanting to get bigger on content or get bigger on social media, a lot of my algorithm was about how to grow on social media, Like, my algorithm was really based off of like what I was experiencing in life. So my algorithm around a certain point in time became around people really struggling with their employment. It became about the job market and how hard it is to get a job, especially in my field in tech. It started to become a lot more about how working at Walmart is and the experiences, and just like how, like, it's just a corrupt company, X, Y, and Z. So then another thing that came about was talking about, shout out to the TikToker, his name is Casanova Brown. And he basically had like this thing called the Age of Disclosure, where it was basically people sharing their stories about how they are really struggling to like get their life in order because of just how expensive shit is out here, how expensive shit is out here, and how even if you have the livable salary that they told us we should have and which will make you comfortable, you really will still struggle. Like, you're really just one or two accidents, car malfunctions, X, Y, and Z from happening from just being absolutely cooked. And I could relate. I'm not really the biggest on Age of Disclosure, like, but that was the point of it, was like a lot of people suffer in silence. They don't know this. They don't talk about what they're experiencing, especially in this economic and political climate. Like, it's hard. Like, it is difficult. So it started to like, so I started to listen to a lot more stories. And a lot of it was a lot about economic struggle, which I could relate to. But it also could relate back to just how basically, like, a lot of it was almost anti-capitalist shit. Like, it was also people struggling financially, but there was also like this element of people who were just talking about how, like, working a job is just such bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, it's such a fucked up thing that we have to experience. We go through the absolute worst there. We endure so much trauma at these jobs in these places of employment. The horror stories about managers and not being able to get time off, being a good employee, and then getting the least out of it. Like, I was seeing a lot of that in my TikTok because honestly, honestly, that's what I was experiencing in my actual life. Like, that's literally what was happening to me. So let's get with the story, right? So I've been working at Walmart since 2018. That was my job that I worked through college. Like when I was at CSM and I needed to make more money so that I could take college courses, more college courses so I could kind of graduate a little bit faster than what I was doing. I took a job at Walmart because it paid better than Sky Zone. Like it was that simple, right? And I knew I could get hours there, and I had been there a long time. I've been doing it for a minute, so I was working at the one in La Plata, Laurel, when I went to UMD, and then I came back to the La Plata store once I got back home. While being at La Plata, I was working an online pickup. I went through my series of managers. I wasn't there that long, but I probably can tell you I done had a good amount of managers in my time being there, whether it was a new team lead or a new department manager. I always was the niggas just kept shuffling shit. And one thing I would say around that time is there was a point in time, and I can't really pinpoint the exact time, but there was a point in time where work was really bad and then it got good. Like it was actually decent to be at work. Like our online pickup section was set up in the front and everything was at the front. And like where we would hand people their orders and shit was literally at the front of the store. It would take 2 steps compared to prior to that. We were working out the back of the store. So anytime anybody came, no matter how big or how small their order was, you're walking all the way from the back of the store to the front. And I'm young. I'm decently fit. You know what I'm saying? I could cut back on the weed a little bit, but nonetheless, you do that shit for 9 hours a day, bro. That shit will drain you. Like that shit will really have you like beat the fuck up. You know what I mean? Of just taking that many steps a day. You pulling grills, you pulling TVs, you pulling all this wild shit. And you got to pull that shit all the way from the back of the store sometimes, majority of the time, right? So when they finally set us in the front, work was so much easier. It was so much less mileage on our bodies. They were actually treating us like human beings. Like they had Gatorade for us when we worked. Like it felt decent to be at work because I didn't feel like I was trying so hard. And also we were doing well. So from that point forward, they ended up selling where we were set up at to some window company and moved us back to the back of the store. And I thought that was interesting. And what happens is they make this big change like that and a lot of other changes. Trust me, there's a lot of information I'm leaving out, but they set you back but expect to get the same results. So yeah, we know you guys were in the front of the store, way less steps, way better worker morale, but we move you to the back of the store. So yeah, you're going to take more steps. Your job is going to get significantly more difficult. But also we do need you guys to be still like one of the better teams in the market. Like that really do be the expectation of shit, right? So I try not to feel the pressure of that. You know what I mean? Because it's just like it's just not my job. Like I come here to do my job and just take the shit out and do my job. I'm gonna try to do it as fast as possible because I don't really want niggas waiting this shit. So yeah, I'm fairly decent at my job because the job isn't that difficult. Like it's common sense to me. I've been doing it for years. So X, Y, and Z and whatever. So I'm gonna just say it. So I had a department manager and we're going to call her Ray Sean. I have my department manager, Ray Sean. She started a while ago. And, I never really had no crazy issues with her prior to, I would say, maybe 2-3 months ago. And what happened was just, she was a decent manager. She understood worker morale to me. She understood that, hey, if these people are in a situation to succeed, they're going to be okay and they will get better results out of it. That to me is just common sense. And I felt like she understood that. Like, hey, like if we have them being closer to the door, X, Y, and Z, if they're hydrated, X, Y, and Z, they'll work better. You know what I'm saying? Somehow, some way, I could tell that something changed. And what I mean by something changed is that human decency aspect of it, I could slowly start to see it fading away a little bit. And she's not the first manager that I've experienced that does that, where to them, it doesn't matter how tired or how overworked we are, depending on the holiday season or X, Y, and Z. She was always at I've always experienced managers who were just like, I don't really give a fuck. We need results. You know what I mean? And I always thought that that was fucked up. But now, kind of hearing and learning more about how this whole job system capitalism shit is just so fucked. For me, a lot of that shit to me in terms of work efficiency just really feels like absolute bullshit to me, because the people who are setting these times and, oh, you guys need to take orders out in 5 minutes, are being set by people who don't do the job. You know what I mean? And just this whole thing, and I'm not gonna get to a whole rant about capitalism just because this is supposed to be a life update, not me being an educator. You know what I mean? I'm just sharing my experience. But I'm thinking all of these things at this time and X, Y, and Z. So when we get moved back to the back, like I said, you're taking way more steps. Your body's starting to break down. The work isn't slowing up because we're still getting orders left and right as Walmart. You know what I mean? And there's so many moving parts to everything that they're changing that by the time they keep changing shit, you're like, I don't even know if this works, but they still are rushing you and trying to, X, Y, and Z, right? Y'all know how it can be. So for me, once I started thinking more about it, I'm like, look, there's a certain human decency level that this job should be providing to us. You know what I mean? There's no reason I'm coming to work and we don't have a case of water set up for us. There's no reason that, hey, if I just knocked out 10 cars and now that there's no cars outside and nobody said that they're arriving, I can't sit down for like 2 or 3 minutes. You know what I mean? And I kept having to kind of debate that with the managers there. Like I had to keep kind of like the corporate people came, they were like, hey, like you're sitting down. And I'm like, yeah, I just took out orders and shit, grills, TVs, you name it. I just knocked all that shit out. We're kind of low key understaffed, not even low key. We be understaffed as hell. So, yeah, like I done did all this. Yeah, I'm gonna sit down for a second and collect myself. And then they just start to have a huge meeting about how there's always something that the employees should be doing. There's always something that they can be doing. They could clean totes. They could do returns. And it's just like, yo, they're acting all this way because I sat down for 2 minutes after I just slaved for a good like hour and a half nonstop knocking out these cars and shit. You know what I mean? Not complaining either, by the way. You get what I'm saying? So I'm starting to have these debates with them more consistently. Like, hey, I can't sit down after knocking out 10 cars and shit for 2 seconds. Like I have to really be kind of debating something that to me just sounds like human decency, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, fuck it. You know what I mean? So that's just kind of starting to add up and piss me off, because now I ain't gonna lie, I'm not finna let these motherfuckers tell me I can't sit down. You know what I'm saying? So, it's starting to become like I'm kind of like this rebellious dude and shit. Or, they try to say, yeah, we know it's 40 degrees outside and you guys walk all day and you guys are walking around all day and shit like that. But yeah, we're gonna enforce this dress policy that you can't wear a hoodie and sweatpants anymore. We're like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, why is that such a big deal? Like, we're fucking Walmart. We walk all day. We want to be comfortable. What's the big deal in wearing sweatpants? And like, they just come in and just always want to just be stricklers about any and everything. And like, they just want to make your life a living hell. And like I said, you gotta remember, like, bro, I'm a college graduate, bro. Like, I do not want to be at Walmart. I went to college just so that I did not have to spend my life at Walmart. So if you think I want to come to Walmart, don't want to be there, but because the job market is fucking trash, and then on top of it, I'm gonna come here and you guys are gonna treat me like less than worthy of being able to sit down for 2 minutes, even though I have a whole college degree and a more based in customer service skills and XYZ, that if I wanted to be a manager, I could, but I don't want to be a manager for this corrupt ass company. Like, it just fucks with your mind after a while. You get what I'm saying? So boom. So kind of fast forward a little bit. Let's get to around, I would say, let's go March. Probably by the time of this episode, around the last episode. I don't know. I talk about J. Cole's The Fall Off a lot, and I am going to reference it here. The fall off to me really did when I watched J. Cole do the trunk sale. There was a part of me that felt motivated by the fact that I watched this man get in a Honda Civic, and yes, he's rich and famous and probably has, like, I know J. Cole had, like, I don't know how to describe it, but I know for me, I just viewed it in this bare bones thing where it's like, I watched this man get in a Honda Civic and drive around the country. You know what I mean? And a part of me felt like, you know what, if J. Cole can line up and get in a car, I know he's a millionaire, but just bear with me. If he can get in a car and drive around the country and see the world, what's stopping me from doing the same? You know what I mean? If he can do that in a 2006 Honda Civic, I can do that in a 2015 Volkswagen Jetta. Is it the newest car in the world? No, it has over 100,000 miles, but I'm not going to let my current circumstances in life dictate the fun I want to have. And I told myself, like, hey, I really want this to be one of the best summers ever for me. I need this summer to be that because I done been through a lot. I feel like I haven't enjoyed a summer in a long time and gotten out the house and really traveled and seen a lot of shit or experienced a lot of shit. So I really want to do that. And to be able to do that, unfortunately, one thing has to change. I need more money. So some of you guys know, but quick life update, if you don't know, I ended up getting a job at a dispensary. I ended up becoming a bud tender, and the job pays fairly well. Like, it ends up paying fairly well, especially when I, was in full time now. But the job paid well. Like, the job really did have a lot of benefits and stuff to it that I really enjoyed, and X, Y, and Z. So, mind you, Walmart is becoming significantly worse over the time, like through the examples I listed earlier. It's becoming way more toxic to work at. It's draining a lot more. It's tiring to get through work, X, Y, and Z. So I get the job at the dispensary, and I have to get a lot of things situated. One thing, and this is kind of the main thing, was my health insurance. The dispensary said, hey, we cannot offer you health insurance until you are here for 90 days full time. So I'm like, cool, that sounds fair. I'm thinking to myself, okay, that's 2 checks. It's going to be difficult, but that's 2 checks. That would be a lot of money, more money than I've probably touched in my working career. It could really set me up to be able to fund trips or get my car worked on, getting some clothes for the summer. It could fund a lot of things, me having 2 jobs. And I'm like, 3 months, by the time I probably would be done with Walmart and X, Y, and Z, maybe it'll be the end of summer. I done have my fun for the summer. I got a nice little money stacked away. I done had the summer I wanted. All right, I can quit Walmart by then. I'll be there 90 days. I just get my health insurance seamlessly transitioned to whatever the dispensary could offer me for health insurance. So I get hired at the dispensary. I'm about to start there and, start working hours there. So I go to my manager and I'm like, hey, I got a second job, and, the shift that I'm getting currently, I kind of want to adjust the hours to them to be 8 to 1:30. So I tell her this, and she's kind of like, I don't know about that one, big dog. So I'm like, well, what you mean? So, you know what I'm saying, right? She's just like, yeah, the new store manager, she wants everybody to, have open availability or be full-time X, Y, and Z. And I'm kind of like, yeah, that's not me. You know what I mean? Like, unfortunately, I'm not able to do that. I had to get a second job because, yeah, do you see that gas is fucking like $4.15? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yeah, like, this job just isn't cutting it. I need to get a second job, X, Y, and Z. So, yeah, I really would want my hours adjusted because I'm going to be working there at nighttime. So she's like, all right, put your availability in the system, and then pretty much like there's nothing she can do. If I put it in the system has to honor it and whatever. So mind you, I'm thinking about starting at the dispensary fairly soon. You know what I mean? Like, when I'm in the midst of me having this conversation, and I'm like, all right. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, maybe she will go in and adjust my schedule for my new availability, which will be 8 to 1:30 and off on these specific days. Nope. She basically made me wait the whole 5 weeks with my schedule as such with the current availability that I was already working. So for 5 weeks, I'm going to work and I'm working an availability that includes me having shifts from like 6 to 1, 6 to 2, 7 to 1s, 7 to 2s. And I basically was like at the dispensary saying, hey, you can basically give me 4 to 10:30. So there'll be days, bro, where nigga, I really worked a 6 to 3, worked at the dispensary from 4 to 10:30, and had to be back at Walmart for like a 6 to 1. And I had to do that shit for 5 weeks. And don't get me wrong, it was the most money I had touched. I hadn't touched that type of money in a minute, not gonna lie. X, Y, and Z. So, but bro, I am beat. Like, I'm physically, mentally drained. I'm not getting enough sleep at night. I can't even get my diet right. I don't even have the energy on the days off to like go to the gym. I just want to stay in and sleep all day. Like, it was bad. You know what I mean? I was really not in a good place. And also on top of it, mind you, Walmart is getting significantly worse. We hired this new store manager, and I'm gonna be honest, she was a complete bitch. She was one of them people where it's like she's just a hard stickler about work and didn't know how to talk to people. Like, people were talking about, she was making people cry in that joint. Like, it was crazy, you know what I'm saying, in Walmart for a second. Like, the vibes were down, bro. You know what I'm saying? And it was just nasty. You know what I mean? So I'm physically drained and exhausted from work, and then I'm coming to work in basically a toxic work environment almost every day. Um, I'm watching my department get significantly worse by the type of procedures and shit that they want to put in place, or uh, whatever, or processes that they want to put in place. And on top of it, even when I'm done, I'm gonna get off work, go home, maybe get an hour nap in, maybe a 2 hour nap in, and then have to go work at the dispensary, which, granted, is a much more relaxed environment than Walmart is, but it's still work. You know what I mean? So it really drained me. You know what I mean? It really like broke me down, like in all ways, shape, and form. And like I said, the job was just getting worse. You know what I mean? So I finished these 5 weeks. I get to 5 weeks. And like I said, the job is worse. I'm sleep deprived. I'm not feeling healthy. I'm living off of Alani's, just trying to find a way to stay awake. And at the end of 5 weeks, I go to her and I'm like, hey, it's been 5 weeks. I really need my availability changed. Because at the time that I'm saying this, it was like the end of April when my availability should have been changed to the system. When the end of April came around, the schedule for May was out and my schedule was still fucked up. So I was like, bro, I cannot do this for another week or two. Like, I quite literally cannot do this. Like, it was so bad, bro. Like, there was one day I called out of work at Walmart, and if I didn't call out, I would have worked 13 straight days. Like, I would have been on a 14-day stretch by the time I would have had an official 1 full day off of work. It would have been 13 days, bro. I stopped at 13 days. I was exhausted, bro. So basically, I go to her. I say, hey, I really need my availability changed because I just cannot maintain. So she asked me, what is your availability? So I tell her again. I said, I need 8 to 1:30. You know what I mean? Maybe I could even rework something a little differently than that, but I cannot come in at 6 a.m. Like, I'm getting off of work from there at 10:30. I'm getting home, and even if I go home and go straight to bed, shower, bed, whatever order you name it, I'm only going to get like 4 or 5 hours of sleep. You know what I mean? I'm like, I just cannot continue to do this. And she's kind of like, I don't really know, bro. That don't line up with the schedule. So I'm like, look, bro, I ain't gonna hold you. I am not trying to keep hearing about what's lining up with the schedule or not. I done been working this shit for 5 weeks. I am exhausted. I haven't complained this whole time. You told me to wait these 5 weeks for my availability to change, and I waited the 5 weeks. It's 5 weeks, bro. You gotta do this. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not really asking, but somebody got going on that schedule and change this shit. Cause I literally cannot do this shit for another 2 weeks. I just cannot. And she's just like, hey, like, if what I'm giving you on the schedule don't work, like, basically there's the door type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's the door type shit. And I'm like, yo, like, you really finna do this, bro? And I ain't gonna lie and brag about it. My time at Walmart, bro, no bullshit, I've been one of the best employees that company has ever had. Like, I really be in there working. I can make up for two niggas not coming to work just in terms of just effort and being on top of my shit. So I'm like, yo, you really feeling like do me like that, bro? Like, you know what I'm saying? X, Y, and Z. And I'm just like, yo, like, that's mad crazy. I'm pissed. Now I'm getting pissed off because I'm like, you know what, bro? You know, if you were never going to honor that shit, why'd you make me work 5 weeks? Like, I'm like, you seen me clear as day be fucking exhausted. And I'm like, if you knew that, and I worked through that shit for 5 weeks just so that I could get this availability in my schedule lined up for me to do both, I can finally be at the dispensary full time, give y'all a couple hours for 90 days, and then get my health insurance switched over and then sayonara. Like, I just thought that was a pretty decent plan. Sounded mature and responsible to me, right? But she was being mad difficult about it and trying to make it seem like I'm not going to honor that. Even though I was like, bro, you can honor anybody's availability. I don't watch this woman, I swear, bro. I don't watch her change the schedule at a moment's notice. Like, if it worked for her benefit to change my schedule from an 8 to 5 to a 7 to 2, and she needed it done for the next day, she could go in the system and do it. So I'm like, you can quite literally do it, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, you keep trying to like give me this word salad bullshit. I'm like, I'm not falling for it. Like, I need this availability change because I quite literally cannot maintain it. And I'm telling them, I'm like, yo, I'm working 2 jobs. Like, I'm getting off there at late at night and trying to come here in the morning. And she was just like, that has nothing to do with me. Like, that's not my problem that you're tired. Like, basically, I need you here at this time and I schedule you for that time. So I don't give a fuck what you do outside of here, but you need to be here. And I'm like, yeah, bro, for like this job, she literally said, this job is your like number one priority. I was like, no, it's not. Like, it's for sure not my number one priority. And I'm like, this is not. And I'm like, but you're not even trying to meet me. I'm like, y'all be in here demanding the workers to work even harder and work even faster. And I'm sitting here telling you that even in the midst of me being mad tired and shit, you are expecting me to do more, even though I need more hours of sleep to be able to do more, even though even the current effort that I'm doing now, mad tired, is better than damn near anybody else you finna get. Like, I'm not even finna hold you. So I'm like, what are we doing, bro? So now I'm getting pissed. So I'm like, look, bro, I done been here for 8 years. I done came here. I do a great job. I do my job well. And she basically cut me off and said, what do you do? What do? You just sit on your phone the whole time. You don't be working. And oh boy, that had me so fucking pissed, nigga. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I just seen red from that moment. And I knew in that time, I was like, yup, I'm quitting very soon. I don't know when, but I cannot stay here. I cannot stay here already just off the simple fact that literally my body and my mind is breaking down. I can't do it. You know what I mean? I need to get out of this place because it's going to make me do something that I'm either going to regret or it's going to turn me into somebody I'm not going to know. So I really didn't know. I was faced with a really tough dilemma, and the dilemma was very stressful. I had to make a huge decision of basically like, hey, I haven't been full time at the dispensary. My 90 days haven't even started yet. And I don't think I can toughen through 3 more months of this, basically abuse. Like, I can't do this for another 3 months. I'm like, this is just way too much on my mental. And I have like older school parents. So for them, they're kind of like they didn't say it, but my parents are very much like very used to what comes with working a job. And I hate that shit because if I rant or I feel some type of way about how my job is treating me because they're literally lacking poor human decency, sometimes in their eyes it's just like, well, that's what comes with the territory. And I'm like, that should not be the fucking response. It should be no, he's not allowed to talk to you that way. You know what I mean? It shouldn't just be just toughen it up. It's like, no, who the fuck are they to talk to me that way? Who the fuck are they to treat me that way? Corporate office, all right, I'm doing it. These motherfuckers who be CEOs, CFOs, all type of shit, get to sit in a climate controlled office all day and do a bunch of fucking nothing. Meanwhile, the people who are in the stores, the cashiers, the stockers, the nigga who bring the groceries and shit out, are the ones doing the real fucking work. Are the ones doing it that if we did not come to work and work our motherfucking ass off, this whole store would be shut down. I honestly took the Walmart job somewhat seriously because this is where people come to get, this is where a community comes to grab their necessities, their toilet paper, their groceries, get eye exams, do all of this shit. I don't give a fuck if this store is in La Plata or Waldorf. The community of people deserve to have a decent shopping experience no matter what their financial or economic status is. Like, you should be able to come to Walmart, get what you need, get good customer service, X, Y, and Z, regardless of if you're rich, poor, elderly, young. It doesn't matter. So I did feel like, hey, I'm doing something for my community. Yes, I get paid to do it, but we're severely underpaid. But yes, I get paid to do it. But at the end of the day, this is what people need to get their shit done or get food, get their whatever. And I took pride in it. Like, yeah, I don't want you waiting outside 90 minutes for your fucking kids' Lunchables. Like no, bro. I take it out there in a timely manner. You got shit to do. You know what I'm saying? If I order some shit online, I'm not trying to be out there for 90 minutes either. You know what I'm saying? So yes, I took my job decently seriously. I wasn't a try hard ass nigga, but I also knew like, hey, I don't want these people standing outside for a couple minutes, so I'm gonna create a decent system of prepping their orders and bringing them out in a timely manner, working with my coworkers to know, hey, when this order get here, this joint got 2 TVs, I'm gonna need some help. Like, just basic common sense to be able to like, keep the vibes up while also making sure we get shit done. I don't give a fuck about what the fucking wait time of these motherfuckers say, because they're not the ones who have to do this shit. They don't really know what it's like to be out there in 90-degree weather or 9-degree weather. Fuck these motherfuckers. So, mind you, I'm doing all of this shit, and all I am asking for is for my availability to be met because I'm physically and mentally broken down. And on top of it, I'm still giving you almost maximum effort at the expense of my own health. And all I'm asking for is just a couple hours off my shift. And you motherfuckers are going to tell me no? Really? Even though I know you can do it. So yeah, bro, I was pissed. And then on top of it, you're going to tell me I don't be working? When I'm not going to lie, the manager who I'm having an issue with was the laziest of them all. Like, did the least amount of work. If she did not come to work, bro, like the department would have ran as usual. She do not be coming to work and doing shit that we didn't do. Like, the department was self-ran. We didn't need her to be there. Like, come on, dog. I watched her push my mans out the door and get him fired over some shit that was her fault or some shit that he couldn't control. So when she said that, yeah, bro, I seen red, bro. I let her have it, dog. And I knew in that moment, I said, yo, I need to plan my exit strategy, because I know now that I done said my piece, they're gonna try to fire me. Like, I was like, the time is coming where they're gonna try to fire me, and it's whatever. So the dilemma I'm having is like, I'm getting this crazy mistreatment at work. My health insurance shit is not situated. Neither is my schedule. I'm not full-time at the dispensary yet, so I'm not able to get my health insurance switched over seamlessly. Basically, what do I do? You know what I mean? And I really felt like at this point in time, my mental health just was tanking. I cannot hold you. Like, I'm gonna be honest, bro. I could not work a shift at Walmart sober. I think from that moment forward, probably even before then, I did not even try to work at Walmart sober. I was like, what's the point? Like, fuck that. I was like, it didn't matter if my shift was at 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. I got a vape, like a little THC vape from work, and I was striking the shit out that joint before work, when I took my 15, when I took my lunch. Shit, I was even hitting it on my way home from work, like, from Walmart, just because I'm like, man, that shit you was draining me. And in that moment, all I could really do was just be like, you know what? I'm not trying no more. I was like, I'm gonna do just enough. I'm not going to go above and beyond like y'all think I do or act like I didn't do. I'm just gonna do my job. What is in my job description is what I'm doing. I'm not doing nothing extra. Like it's a wrap for me. Like if it's not within my job title, if I don't want to do it, I'm just not gonna do it. You know what I mean? Like I like we had like two little spots in our job where they would have the dry stuff in the back and the cold stuff in the front, and I'm like, hey, just to avoid her, I'm staying in the front my whole shift. I'm not moving. Um, y'all know what y'all gotta do. Bring that shit up to me, but I don't want to see her. I don't want to speak to her. You know what I mean? I don't really fuck with her. Like fuck her. You know what I mean? And I had to do that for a minute. You know what I'm saying? But I still got to get up at 6 a.m. to be here. Or, I mean, I got to get up at 4:45 a.m. to get here by 6 or 5:45 to get here by 7. Like, I still have to suffer. You know what I mean? So, like I said, for me, I could just see the writing was becoming on the wall. I started getting blamed for shit that wasn't my fault. You know what I mean? Like, they would try to pull me to the side and be like, hey, you're taking mad long to take the orders out and shit. What gives? And I'm like, or like they would be like, hey, like there's so many cars outside. Why is there so many cars outside? It's because you guys aren't trying hard enough. You guys are on your phone. It's like, no, there's 10 cars outside. All the orders are huge. And there's only two of us taking them out. Like, what the fuck do you want us to do? They really just used to think that we could just pull miracles out of our ass to be able to get this work done at their efficiently set time limits or whatever. I'm like, bro, like that, it just doesn't work. Like, you have to remember, like, we're pulling all this shit from endless different locations in the store. I'm on my way outside to take the shit out. I gotta unlock the socks drawer that you guys locked up because you were afraid of niggas stealing socks. So I have to unlock it almost every time I walk by this shit. Then I get outside and I gotta scan all this shit, ask the customer for a barcode, scan that shit, then put the order in the car. And they expect all that shit to be done in 5 fucking minutes. Like, nigga, are you crazy? Like, I'm like, y'all don't even create a system where this is even remotely, where it remotely stands a chance. I'm like, you guys just didn't. And I'm like, they literally started lining it up as if, well, the reason why we're not able to do that is because Damien's not doing nothing. And I'm like, that's fucking nuts. You know what I'm saying? And I could see the writing was on the wall. Like, yep, I'm starting to go get blamed for shit. They're starting to leave this paper trail of feeling like they have to keep coming to me and talking to me about shit. So one day, like I said, I didn't know when I was going to quit. Once it hit May, I said, I'm either quitting the 15th or the 29th. I'm not making it to June. By the time this Don Toliver concert rolls around, I am a free man. I don't care what happens from that point forward, but when that Don Toliver concert happens, I will not be a Walmart employee. I really thought I could make it to May 29th because that would give me some time. At least maybe I could PTO my way out of Walmart so I don't even have to work the last week or some shit. Like, who fucking knows, right? So I'm like, fuck it. We'll see what happens. It gets to, I think, Sunday. And I actually do remember the date. Let me look on the calendar because I actually remember the date. Or like, yeah. So boom. It was Mother's Day. Yup, it was Mother's Day, May 10th. And I remember um going to work and I was there and we working and like I said, the job is still ass, the process is still ass, all the shit is still ass. So she was wondering, hey, like all these orders I've been outside for a minute, X, Y, and Z, and it wasn't my fault per usual. So she's like, hey, we need to talk. And I was just like, okay. So my coworker had already heard her say, hey, LaShawn, oh shit, fuck it. But she already said she wants to talk to you. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I go, so I'm like, what? I wonder what she wants to talk about. So she's like, yeah. She says she saw you standing outside, not doing nothing. And I'm like, standing outside, not doing nothing. And she was like, yeah, you were doing a return for the driver and you were waiting for the driver to pull up. So she said that you were standing outside doing nothing. So I'm like, all right, good looks for like warning me that that's what the conversation is about, because now I know how this conversation, I know how to approach the conversation, which I'm unfortunately even, which is even dumb. I even have to approach this conversation because I literally did nothing wrong, but fuck it. So for a minute, the more I kept thinking about it, the more upset I'm getting. I'm like, yo, this is fucking bullshit. You know what I mean? The fact that like this is really like happening, like they're really trying to line me up to like get out the door, basically. So finally she catches me and she's like, yeah, what's been going on? Like, your times have been horrible. You're holding the department back, all this shit. And I'm like, nothing's going on. I'm like, do you see the screen? I'm like, bro, I'm like, there's endless people outside and it's just me and like one or two other people and shit like that. And she was like, well, it's been going on for a while. Your times have been bad ever since X, Y, and Z. So I'm like, all right. She was like, even yesterday your times were bad. And I was like, hold up now. So once she said even yesterday, the day before, she didn't even know that I worked that whole shift by myself. Nobody else who usually takes out orders was there my whole shift until I was off. And I was like, I worked by myself yesterday. And so she brought like the team lead with her to be like a quote unquote witness. And the team lead was there yesterday. I was like, hey, yo, wasn't I by myself yesterday? And she was like, he was. So she was like, well, what about the order you just did? So I'm like, yeah. So so at Walmart and shit, quick little side note, right? Because this is quick context. If you do online pickup, you got to scan the orders to a location so that I know where the order is when they get here so I can take it out to them. Somebody, I don't know who, but like rushed to stage the shit just so that they could say that, oh, I put it in the location and I said where the location is. But the location name was like A, B, C, D, E, F, G type shit, right? So I'm like, yeah, I didn't know where this order was because somebody staged it at A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And mind you, the person who helped me find it was the team lead. So I said, hey, yo, team lead, isn't that what happened, right? I couldn't find where the order was because somebody staged it at A, B, C, D, E, F, G and not an actual location. And she was like, he's right. And the manager was just like, oh, okay. Like she didn't have shit to say. So then somebody kind of like told me on the slide, like, I ain't gonna hold you, bruh. I looked at the numbers and shit because like, like they're readily available. He was just like, bro, your numbers are not bad. Like it's somebody completely different. Like it's not you basically type shit. And I quit 4 days later. Like from that moment, I was just like, you know what? Nope. Like that was the confirmation I needed for sure. That says, oh yeah, you're trying to fire me. Like you're trying to fire me. You're going to do whatever it takes. You're not even good at trying to build up the case to fire me. And also, I've been here before. I know what it looks like when niggas want to fire you. I know the process that they're going to go through. They're going to make your life a living hell. They're going to put the record out there of like, hey, I'm always having to correct him and shit like that. And once I seen that she was really willing to go to the ends of the world to have that happen, I was like, you know what? I'm going to finish this pay period, but I'm out of here. Like, fuck it. At this point, this is literally not worth the stress that is required to work at this fucking company. So 4 days later, I gave them no notice until the end of my shift and I fucking quit. And I'm not going to hold you. It's the greatest thing I've ever done. My mental health is back. I'm finally getting sleep again. I'm 100 times happier at the dispensary now. And I just was like, fuck it, I'll figure it out. Like, I just was like, fuck it, I'll figure it out from here. But I know I'm not going to let them suck any more of my soul. You know what I mean? I'm just not going to let them do this to me anymore. And I'm not going to lie, like, I fucking hate Walmart. I hate everything about that company 100%. I never really envisioned quitting Walmart in that way. I always envisioned quitting Walmart Even though I've always had a strong distaste for that job, just because it's a shitty experience. Like Walmart is a shitty experience because it shows you how low people think you are because of something like your job title. Like it hurt me like to my soul to already know that like as an employee of Walmart and then and honestly any department store, how how bad people will treat you, just customers in general sometimes. What paid me more was to see it happen from like your own managers. You know what I mean? I used to hear some managers at Walmart talk to their employees or the people that they were supposed to lead like they were fucking animals. Like it was some of the most disgusting shit you will ever see in your life, to go to work and somebody who could be of any background just get treated so poorly. You know what I mean? And get paid so little. You know what I mean? And it just killed me to be in that environment and keep seeing that. You know what I mean? I will, if you, I'm telling you, bro, there was like a conversation at my job where we used to just talk about it, and you would just be like, yo, everybody just looks dead in their face. Like everybody just looks so dejected, so exhausted. And like one thing that really started to happen was, I'm not gonna lie, like a lot of people who I've worked with at Walmart, I ain't gonna say a lot, but I can really count like I think 4 people that I shared time with at Walmart have died. And it's just like it just puts in their perspective, like they'll set up a table and it'll be there for 3 or 4 days. And then after 3 or 4 days, that table's coming down. You know what I mean? And it's just like for some of them, bro, like they've been like they just be like, yo, 20 years of service. And I just think back to myself like, I wonder were they happy those 20 years, just because, bro, like they took a lot of abuse, bro. Like you know what I'm saying? Like it's a lot of things on your mental. And I feel like for me, like I started to literally hate having a job because you just really see how people treat you just because you make a living, just because you just want to have money. Like it's crazy. And a lot of this time, a lot of that shit, bro, people working at Walmart is because of circumstances that are out of their control, bro. Like I'm working at Walmart not because I didn't go to college or because I am this or this or that. I have all the things that people told me to get, and I still suffer literal abuse from management. And I was one of the better employees they had. I ain't trying to brag, but I was employee of the month twice at Walmart. You know what I mean? In 2 different departments. You know what I mean? Like I really like did good at my job. You know what I'm saying? And even I still suffered hands of just like people looking down on me, customers and people who worked there who felt like just because they were in a leadership role that they were better than I was. And a lot of times people could be like, oh, but maybe they're jealous and shit like that because they know that you went to college and XYZ. And I'm just like, man, like that still is no excuse to treat me poorly. You know what I mean? I feel like human decency is just human decency. Like it doesn't matter whether you work at Walmart or you're a fucking CEO. You shouldn't just look down on people like that and think that people should just be slaves and that all we are just machines who just walk around and just make Sam Walton money all day. Like fuck that. You know what I'm saying? So I quit. You know what I mean? And like I said, I never thought I would quit Walmart in that way. I've always hated Walmart. I'm gonna just be honest, but I always wanted to leave with a lot more of a celebratory thing. Like, hey, you know, this was my job that paid me to make it through school, and I did it, and I kept the job here all the way until I got this job in tech that I worked all those years in college for. And honestly, like it took a while for me to kind of get over it. Like the fact that like one, I'm not in tech. Two, I didn't quit Walmart really on my own accord. I quit because I was basically forced out and wasn't going to let them fire me. And yeah, like I left in a situation where like, hey, like this could have went bad. You know what I mean? So I guess like currently the dispensary job has been amazing. Like I said, I've made great relationships and friendships with the people I work with. I have a lot of fun there. I'm able to still um, fund the summer I want to have with working there. It is a bit tougher missing a paycheck, but being full time there and getting the experience, it's providing me a lot more hope about where I could go in the cannabis industry. Because I really did struggle feeling like, where was I going to get my start at in tech, and like where's the next steps up? Because hey, I'm 27 going on 28. I'm not getting any younger. These companies want younger. They want brighter. And I'm like, I can't even study like off the clock because I'm just trying to survive, you know? And survival puts your mind in a different place that like you can't explain sometimes. It puts you in a dark place sometimes. And it's like, when I was in survival mode, bro, I'm gonna just be honest, I was not thinking of podcasting. I was not thinking of the show. I was not thinking of anything. I just was like, I just need to survive this day so that I can survive the next day and survive days after that until I don't have to do this balance anymore. And I broke after like 6 weeks. No, 6 or 7 weeks. After 7 weeks, I broke. And I knew that working two jobs and balancing it out was going to be tough. And the problem is, and the worst part about it is like the experience of working two jobs and shit, it wasn't bad because of just like the physical toll. It was bad because of human beings. It was bad because of people refusing to treat me with respect, for refusing to show any empathy to my situation. Like that's why the experience was so bad. My 5-7 weeks of not being able to even work a shift sober was quite literally because of my tension with my manager and me saying, if I go through this shift sober, I'm going to like I'm gonna slap somebody. Like I'm going to slap somebody. I'm not going to hold you, and I'm not trying to do that. So I have to honestly numb my feelings and my emotions just to finish this shift. You know what I mean? Mind you, I still have another shift at another place right after this. You know what I mean? Like it took a toll, man. It took a toll. It took a toll. So I'm happy now. I'm in a better place now. I'm able to look at my life and kind of see where I can fit in more of my hobbies, more of my interests, more of my passions, and I'm exploring again. I feel like a kid again, kind of going into default mode and going out into the world. Like I try to be on my phone as little as possible and try to just be as creative and curate some type of life around me. And I feel like 100 times better. This is the most confident I've been. I've been hanging out with people a lot more. Like I've been like completely on some extrovert shit. Like I feel like I'm barely in the house. I'm in DC hanging out with my bros. Like I'm just in a better place. Like, is life perfect? Absolutely not. Like, it's not perfect. I still feel like I have goals, and I still feel like there's things about myself and my life that I'm still trying to figure out. But like the day to day shit that I'm experiencing, like I am much happier, and I am feeling a lot more stable and secure, and being a lot more like of like unafraid of the unknown and restarting. Because me quitting Walmart is a restart. Like it's a restart because that's all I knew for the past 8 years was being there. I might have taken my breaks there and X, Y, and Z, but I've been gone. Like I've been at Walmart for years, and I really had to go into the unknown to be like, okay, like these next steps in restarting from your life, like restarting your life into a new industry that you didn't go to college for, starting at a position which is considered like an entry level position in this industry, and now having to learn your way through it while also having a good time being in that environment is like so much more, I think, validating of an experience. And it makes me less afraid of going through this route, especially because I go into it with a lot more experience, with a lot more knowledge, and a lot more wisdom than I had. Like me restarting, I'm not restarting from zero. I'm restarting with information. I'm still learning information. I have wisdom. I know how to navigate shit. I have a desire of wanting more and wanting to learn. And now including this restart is a restart in myself of like, how am I going to spend my time off of work? Am I going to spend it being in bed doom scrolling and watching everybody else chase their dreams? or am I going to be in my room recording this podcast starting from here, and let's see what happens in 5 years of just doing this shit. And we don't gotta play the same games that and play by the same rules as everybody else. We can do some other shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna really try to blow this shit up if I want to like grow it to be what it is. It's gonna be through legit word of mouth, real life connection, and telling niggas like, yo, this the show. Boom, check this shit out. Like on some real shit, and watch it kind of expand further than Waldorf, and watch it and see what happened, bro. All I can do is give it a chance, bro. I don't know what could possibly happen. You don't really know, and it might not be as bad as you think it to be. So that's kind of like my little message for like everybody out there is like, man, like if you feel like you need a restart or a rebrand or you want to do something, bro, it's like it's never too late. Like go into the unknown, figure it out. Like what do you have to lose? You'll be happier in the long run. And fuck it, man. I'm lit. You know what I'm saying? So thank you guys for listening. That is it for this day's episode. I don't know when you guys are getting another episode after this. Hopefully soon. I would definitely try to shoot for like the next week and actually have like an actual topic list of shit that's going on. But honestly, I've been so much involved in my own world. I have not been too much involved in like the outside world of shit. So like bear with me. I'm going to try to be more like knowledgeable of what's going on. I don't really care about celebrity drama. I feel like I've talked about that before, but unless there's really something in it where I feel like we can have an actual constructive conversation about it, I don't really give a fuck about celebrity gossip. I more just care about art and life and music and sports and actually talking about those things from a certain perspective rather than talking about a bunch of foolishness in the black community and shit like that. Like I could give a fuck about Cheyenne Bryant. Like there's a bigger conversation in it, but like the other petty conversations and the spilling the teas and shit, I don't give a fuck about. So we back. It's lit. Thank you guys for listening. If you guys actually did listen, like I do want to know who actually listens to this shit. So if you gave it a listen, bro, just shoot a nigga a text if you got my number. Hit me up on Instagram and be like, yo, I listen, bro. Like, you know, XYZ. Tell me your experience with the show, bro. Like, I do feel like I'm not going to be too big and too cocky and everything like that. But I am going to be honest. Like, I do need the validation. I need to hear people give me their honest views of the show and honest thoughts about the conversations we have. And if you're enjoying them in X, Y, and Z, I really want to do this for us. Because this is my way to still connect with people. And what comes from it, I don't fucking know. But fuck it, we here. You know what I mean? So let's run it up. Let's try to get the organic engagement. If you fuck with this show, bro, tell your friends, tell your family that, hey, yo, this is a lit show, bro. Y'all gotta check it out and shit. And we up, bro. We lit, bro. But until next time, guys, I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.